Maintain.
Maintain. Queuing.
Cow feeding.
Sorry?
Cow feeding the data.
Cow feeding. Wow, that's a new one.
VCC.
VCC. Okay. Anybody else? Any other ones?
Pizza tent.
Pizza tent food. Okay, I meant kitchen and food. Okay.
Recycling.
Recycle.
What about queuing?
I said that. Yeah.
Distribution.
Sorry, what distribution?
Book.
Book distribution. Okay, so sort of bazaar tent areas.
And disabled.
Okay, just want to understand, so we got a variety of issues here that you'll be having as safety concerns. Before I start, do you know why it's important to do health and safety for event artists?
There are thousands of people around and you have to be very careful in whatever area you're in.
Is that the reason why we have to do
There's
these
legal requirements.
legal requirements? Lovely. Somebody? Safety of visitors, public safety. Are you same thing? Safety for volunteers.
You're avoiding incidents.
Sorry, to avoid?
Incidents.
Incidents. Okay, accidents and incidents.
Safety of oneself and others.
Safety to oneself and to others. And anybody else, any other hands? Or just brushing their hair or something? I think most of you are quite spot on really. The reason why we have to do health and safety is important, and I'm not going to bore you death on this subject, which most of you might feel that way. The reason is that, like the Mataji said, legally is important. There's legislation we have to follow, regulations in this country, and of course to prevent any accidents and incidents to yourself and to others. And also, all of you might have a family member or friends or colleagues. Do you want to see them hurt? No. So it's a morale as well. So it's a human thing as well. You know, we don't want to see anybody suffering from any injuries. So basically, this is why we all here today. Obviously, we're very eager here. You're on time. We ran late this time, so it looks really interesting issues here. Next, please. Well, obviously, you've been coming here for the last many years, I think. How many of you have been coming for the last 5 years in any of these festivals? Quite a lot.
More.
Yeah? And we probably noticed that we've been started doing these induction processes in different ways and different methods and everything like that. So we, at the same time, our standard of health and safety for the festival is also improving as well. And you must have noticed that from your being here at festivals and serving. And this is what we want to make sure that when you come here to serve at the festival, that you're not hurting yourself in any way, that the duties you're doing or helping out in any level of departments, even the bookshop or prashadam or japa or anywhere. So, you know, we've got a concern for you as well, that you come the way and you go back home the way you came here in one piece. Okay? And this is what we all have to do together. It's not just one way, it's not just me or VCC team, it's all of us together in here. And we want to make sure that our guest who comes here are in the same place. Okay, it's safe as well. This is a question to you. Who thinks health and safety is common sense? Let's put your hands up properly, come on. I'm not going to look at you whether you're shaven or not. Right, so all these people think is common sense for health and safety, yeah? How many think is not common sense? So it must be the people who didn't put hands up, I guess. How many people think, no, she's not, nothing to do with common sense. How many people think it's not common sense? So I guess whole room is agreement that it's common sense. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Fine. Sorry, I'm a bit deaf today. Well, I think it's not common sense. Okay?
Why?
Exactly. Who's done maths here?
We all have.
Okay, who did maths O level, GCSE level? Quite a few people. So for me and you to relate, if I say Pythagoras theorem, it's quite easy to know, it's quite common sense to apply on a triangle, blah blah blah. Yes?
Yeah.
Agree? Okay. So who's done higher physics, A levels and above? Okay? One or two people. So for me and him, it would be common sense to talk about Einstein's relativity, to talk about the E equal MC squared, blah, 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 blah. You guys don't know anything about it. Do you know what we're talking about? Well, to me and him, it's common sense. We know what we're talking about. We know what E equals MC squared means. Okay? I hope so,
So
anyway.
certain people, it is common sense, and certain people.
Exactly. I'm coming to you. Hold your horses. I'm coming to you. I know you're really eager to. The way she's going, she might fly off the window. Okay, the reason I'm saying common sense is that you must have noticed that some of us came from Africa or India in this country. The way we do things in those countries is different to what they do here, and I think we face the same thing when the migration people come to work here. For them is nothing wrong with that, and we think there's everything wrong with that. And that's where common sense comes in now. You think, well, that's a common sense. Not to him. The common sense starts with, is after you train, you go experience. That's when it becomes common sense. Okay? So it's quite important to know that if it was common sense, why are we still having accidents in this country at work? I hope most of you do go to work, yeah? Yeah? And there's still accidents. Okay, so we're coming to the accidents part. But what I'm saying is that if it was really common sense, why are we still having these injuries and accidents? You know, we're still having some in other festivals as well. So it's not that we don't have it here as well. Okay? Next, please. Does anybody know about risk and hazards from the workplace? Well, let's get this out of the way. Who works full-time or part-time? So the rest are unemployed? Helping the country? Okay, no, just a joke, I'm just saying it. So there are a few people who work full-time or part-time, so they know about the training about health and safety, risk and hazards and all that. The reason I'm saying this is that we are now trying to make this common sense, if you see what I'm saying. So when I say about risk and hazards, everybody will have the same understanding of it. Okay? So basically risks, well, if you can read it, if I'm in your way, just tell me, there's a big body here. But basically, we do simple risk assessments on whatever work we do. For example, if you're in the kitchen and cooking, Bashar, Japa, there's always some elements of risk and hazards in your area. And you need to sort of open your eyes and deal with the situation. And for example, simple risks is what are hazards? Does anybody know what our hazards are? Do you know? Go there.
Yeah, things that can cause something bad to happen.
Okay, somebody else put their hands up?
Slips and slips.
Okay.
In the kitchen, there will be fire hazard.
So there's a lot of hazards. I think most of you are getting the gist of it. Okay? Do you know what, to do a simple risk assessment in your place where you're going to be helping out, is that find out what are hazards, like some of you pointed out. Then you want to find out who will be harmed from that hazards. Okay? So for example, yourself, or your colleague, or if it's a public area, your guests and ceramic, or visitors as well. We have VIP visitors as well. And then, is something done about it? I.e., for example, if this was a fire exit, and we put bags of rice or something like that, and can you do something about it? How many yes, how many no?
Yeah.
Speak up, man. So you can do something about it. But how many of you actually do it on the festival time?
Common sense.
It's common sense, but it's not being done. Believe me. I go around and I take pictures and I make notes of it. Okay? So I'm not just talking from talking point of view, I've actually been here serving and doing my assessments all the time. What I'm trying to say is that if it can be done something easily, do something about it. Talk to your team leaders. Ask for help if it can't be done by yourself. If it's simple as removing a bag from a way or axis, or something has come off, a broken chair, remove it, etc., etc. Okay? So you want to just make sure that your risks are then adequately controllable. That's what we're going for. If it's something can't be done, there's some team leaders, people like me walking around, can get us to get your attention as well. Okay? And for example, I was talking to you for boiling potatoes last year. You know, there are some risks involved, and we're going to improve that, things like that. Yeah? I know nobody got injured, but we don't want to wait for that, do we now? So, you know, that's what the risk accident prevention is. So you put your hands up.
Can anyone, like if someone has to be taken out, can anyone take it, or has it got to be a trained person who has to lift
To do
it?
what?
Say, suppose you said, like, example, there's a rice bag and someone wants to lift it and take
Yeah.
it. Can anyone take it up, or has it got to be a trained person?
What sort of area are you going to be helping out?
Donations, right?
Donations.
Yeah.
If it's anywhere around in your donation areas, you've got full control over that.
Okay.
If it's something in the car park, you probably wouldn't have control because they know what they're doing. Yeah? Okay? So what Prabhuji was asking is that can anybody deal with the situation? I guess the answer is that if you're in that control of your area, you know more about it than anybody else do. Okay, so you know why the purpose of those access areas are or whatever it is there. Okay? Now, just some of them, I think you people are still not switched on about risk assessment. How many of you actually cross the road here? Residential road. How many of you cross the road? People are not putting hands up. Where's the hands? How many people have crossed residential road? Right. This lady. Mataji, you have not crossed road? You have crossed road. How many have you? How easy was that? How easy was to cross your residential road? Very easy. Depends what residence you live in. If you live in private road, it's very easy. If you're living in somewhere where we live in Wembley and Harrow, it's a little difficult nowadays. Still cars will flying over it. Now, same question. Has anybody crossed A41? Sure? Okay. It's a bit difficult, isn't it? Now, there was a brave one in the last class we had. He actually crossed the road. And then I asked him, has anybody crossed M25? The task is still the same, crossing the road. Your task will be the same. Situations will change. The level of risks will change. Okay? Today, if you count this, about, say, 500 people on, at this manor at the moment, the day you are serving, probably thousands of people. You're still serving, whatever you're doing, the situation will change. Okay? So just keep that very simple, crossing the road. I'm not going to say, why did the chicken cross the road? That's too old now. Sorry, what? We're coming to it. Really switched on, isn't it? Next. Helping to prevent incidents. We talked earlier about that. Has anybody had any accidents, not just here, anywhere? Home, work? Nobody had cut? Now the hands are coming up. Look at that. Slowly, slowly. Who had cuts? Quite a few. Anybody has had anything else? Burns? Sorry, somebody said slips, trips, and fall. Anybody fall? You fell down? At home, okay. Anybody had any accidents at workplace? Few people. So what was your workplace injury?
I was sliding off something, fell over.
Sliding, so
Yeah,
some
cracked
slipping
my head,
and
yeah.
fall down, okay? And your one was? Oh, okay, somebody was... Sorry, I can't hear you.
Fall, ankle,
Fall?
knee.
Okay, just all right. Fall. Somebody from this side? It's 3-0 on this side, guys. You
Yes, slipped and broke my ribs.
You slipped, fell, and broke your ribs. So it's quite common, isn't it? Slips, burns, things like that. So what we're saying is that if it happens at work, it can happen anywhere. Okay? So there are people who experience some sort of incidents or accidents in their life, and it's not very nice, is it? Even a small cut. It's not very nice. It's not pleasant. Anybody think it's pleasant to get hurt? See a doctor. We want to make sure the working environment that whichever you are involved is safe. Working practices. Does everybody understand my working practices? If not, just tell me, I'll tell you right now. Okay? Equipment and machinery. Kitchen, in particular. Now remember, it's not just the day we actually have a janmashtami or any other festival, it's before we set up and dismantling as well. We have the same problems, okay? Health and safety is all the way through. Training and knowledge about your work. Security. Why do you think I'm asking security you have to be aware of? Why do you think security is important? children's area. Why do you think it's important security?
Because you have to make sure the children are safe.
Okay. I'm talking about the safety side of security. Sorry?
They are vulnerable. They are
Vulnerable?
small.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So, like, in this instance, you all have passes, so you can go to like certain areas without the passes, and then you can walk in and.
Okay, I'm still talking about safety security, you're talking about more other sort of security now. Anybody else? Why do you think in safety terms, why security is important?
People have personal belongings.
Sorry, somebody's mumbling.
Sorry.
Can't hear you.
I said people have personal belongings that needs to be taken care of.
It's not safety related.
Misuse of appliances.
Spot on. Exactly. If you left your equipment or appliances, or even screwdriver, or even a knife around, and like you just said, child will get it, or somebody else will say, oh, I just want to fix a bulb here, let me just pick it up, doesn't know what's wrong with it or right with it, and can obviously hurt. So what we're saying is that whenever you have your equipment or anything, please do it safely, locked up, secured in that manner, so nobody else can use it without their knowledge. Okay? Your state of mind, why do you think that's important?
So you can concentrate
Yeah, you can
on
focus.
the area.
So you can concentrate on the area like this.
You can be
Sorry?
focused.
Focusing.
You're alert, Marketees,
Focus.
focused. Any more?
Attention.
Sorry?
Attention.
Attention, concentration, yes.
Proactive.
Sorry?
Proactive.
Proactive. Okay. So it's important, isn't it? Yes. And are you having your state of mind is in good control on the day when you're serving and helping out? Yes. I hope so. We don't have really problems on alcohol and drugs as such in this place. It's a normal common phenomenon in other places. But why do you think these medicines are important to be aware of? Makes you drowsy. And if that makes you drowsy, what happens? You can't concentrate, you fall down, you do a lot of things. Anything else?
You'll be risk to others.
Allergies? Yes. But allergies should be sorted out before you start any duties. You must inform your team leader if you have any allergies. Okay, it's a first aid requirement as well. That's quite a good point you made. If anybody has any allergies, they must tell in advance. Don't not while something happens to you. Okay? Is my time up already? Okay. The reason I'm saying medicines is because some even simple things like painkillers sometimes we take, or antibiotics, or even common things can make you drowsy. Sometimes your stability is not right mind. You're here for a long day, and it can cause accidents and incidents. Okay? So if you do have the problem, talk to your team leader and address that. You don't have to tell the whole world if your team leader is fine. In case something happens to you, your first aid person that day will be able to deal with you in that manner. Okay? Next, please. So did you put hand up somewhere there, or just? We're not in the auctions, and if you do that, it's like 10 bucks. Okay. What should we do if there is an incident? Sorry.
Team leader.
Okay. Somebody else different? First aid. Okay. And stare at it. I'm just checking if you're awake or not. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Contact first aider, of course, to deal with it. What would you do? It's a big field here. Some people are in the car park, some people are here and there. We found out that most of you visit this temple quite regular basis, yeah? All of you. Do you know your first aid is today? Sorry?
There's a box in the kitchen.
There's a box in the kitchen.
First aid.
Okay. And there's a qualified first aider there? You don't know?
We should put the signs on.
Yeah.
There isn't one. Are there any signs on them?
The
The first aid is on there.
Yeah. See how easy it is. I'm not trying to sort of be difficult about it, but some of us generally come here even for darshan, but then we start helping around, and we still don't know the basic requirements. Where is the first aid facility here? Okay? You're absolutely right. You know because in the kitchen you probably helped or worked in there. but you might have changed today. If you're going to work sort of in voluntary basis, when I say work, you have to sort of know where to get first aid facilities and who it is, yeah? Yes, today if something happens, reception is your first call point, and they will sort some first aid out. So everybody knows today where the first aid is, if we're here, okay? And what we're trying to tell is that obviously tell your team leader. If you can't find team leader, you must tell somebody who's in charge of the whole project or event, or even like myself, who's walking around the day, or something like that. But normally I find out later on anyway, okay? So it's very important to know. Why do you think we need to record all these incidents?
It's a requirement. It's a legal
I'm going to give
requirement.
this young man's chance.
To learn from mistakes.
Learn from mistakes. What was somebody from the other thing? To prevent.
It's not that easy.
You must have done this training. Okay, no, absolutely right. I'll tell you why. The more, if you're having a lot of people are having cuts, for example, in the kitchen, I look at this data, why we're having so many cuts, we're trying to deal with the issue. Okay? So this is the example. If everybody's falling in the Dachshund queue, why everybody's falling down there? We need to know that. Yeah? If the carpets are bad or worn out or not taped down or something like that, this is why we need to know that. And it's very, very important that we keep the data. Next, please. First and accidents. Everybody knows janmashtami where first aid facilities are, yes? Who doesn't know? Everybody helping out with janmashtami, I guess? Yes. Who doesn't know where first aid facilities are? You don't know? Okay. Have you been here in the past? Yeah. Okay. Normally the big two ambulances are standing on the small car park there. That is your first point, if you can't find anybody else. Okay? Alright, just to make sure that you know this. We spoke about this already, call the nearest things. Do not move the injured person. Who agrees with that and who disagrees? So this all people disagree. Why shouldn't we move injured person? One at a time, please. You may injure more.
No, you most likely would need a stretcher.
Okay. Anybody else?
You can injure yourself.
You can injure yourself. Yes.
But you don't know what the injury is.
Exactly. You don't know what extent of injury it is. It might be broken neck, you move the person, you make it worse, and might you lose your life. It's very important. It depends on the severity of injury. If I'm just saying I've got a little cut, obviously you can move me for that reason. But you need to identify what sort of injury it looks like. If someone is just lying on the floor here, don't just, oh, let me move this out, this is blocking my fire exit. Please don't do that. You know, they might have fallen down or something's happened to you. So please don't do that, okay? And all data we need to enter in accident books. Okay, so you must report all injuries.
Where is the accident book kept?
Normally, if you go to first aid, they have it. In janmashtami time, we have it in the ambulances. They keep all the records. Okay? You never had it? You never reported it? Please let's start with this here, okay?
Well, never been told before.
No, kitchen they do record.
If you, yeah, I think I have seen some sort of data.
No, they do.
Okay. So if you haven't, then please do it, okay? Lifting. How many people have done lifting before? So nobody, those people with hands down have never lifted anything? Don't even lift a plate to eat? Come on, everybody's done some form of lifting, yes? Okay? Now I'm not talking about this sort of lifting. Can any of you can do this sort of lifting? No, of course not. I don't expect you to do. It's only Krishna can do that. Okay? Do you think he's lifting safely? No.
Yeah.
You said yes. No. He's lifting safely. Do you think he can do that way? He can do better. Because it's Krishna, he can do anything he wants to do. So just give it a joke aside, yeah. Basically, has anybody had any injuries from particularly lifting? This is where your manual handling comes in now, okay? So you had problem from lifting, yes? Some sort of injury. Serious? Very serious. Do you mind sharing what sort of injury it is? Is it very personal or will you keep it quiet? Okay. Sorry?
Maybe if you're watching the person, you could do anything.
But you injured yourself then? Okay, but your injury was so bad that you were sort of paralyzed or something like that?
Yeah, I've got a problem with the left.
Okay, so it's quite severe, isn't it? Anybody? I think I saw one hand here.
Yeah, not in temple, but long time ago, was in the exhibition and all that. And it was very cold weather, so we had to lift full box outside, really heavy box.
Heavy box,
Very
okay.
heavy box. And I just didn't pay any attention to it. I mean, it's not a certain way of lifting it.
Okay.
I just went and lifted it.
Anybody else has any other, strained back or anything like that? You had it? You want to share it with us? What was it?
Hernia.
Hernia. Okay. We just want to identify here from lifting what sort of symptoms there are and hazards there are. Yeah. Hernia is one of them. Back strain is another one of them. Yeah. There's a lot of issues with lifting. Do you think that when you lift something, the injury happens straight away? So, like the gentleman saying he lifted some boxes up that day, do you think that injury was due to lifting that 4 boxes? Sorry. We're having a discussion here now. Sorry, is anybody understood what I'm saying?
It happens at the time, but you realize
Okay, it happens at the time, but you realize it afterwards.
It triggers more with the lifting afterwards.
It's wear and tear.
Wear and tear.
And gradually it will.
I think that's what we were coming to, is that what you did today, you'll have the injuries coming on later on, the effects. And that's how our back works.
That's why you register in the book, you log it
Yeah.
for the future.
But what I'm saying is that, for example, today you lifted this chair up, which you will eventually when we finish, and stake it up. What will happen is that if you done it correctly, obviously you wouldn't have it. If you did it incorrectly, these injuries will pile up. And one day you're going to go just to pick up a plate of food and say, oh, my back. That actually happens. Okay? Because your injury has been prolonged for so long, and it's just that moment that it just collapses, the disc or whatever it is, okay? Obviously, your case is more when you lift really heavy weight, like the bucket walas are here, you have to be very careful because you can get instant injury as well. Okay?
Do you know why you keep mentioning kitchen all the time?
Because they're always lifting heavy things.
It's the worst area for the hazard.
Yes.
There's a fire, it's all wet, it's dangerous, it's sharp, you got tools, you got machines, it's overcrowded, everything is there.
Absolutely right. I'm not sort of denying that.
Yeah.
I'm pointing that way because I deal with them more often, because I don't see anybody in the queue that has this sort of problem. They only hold the paper and pen, really. I can't see them. But I see this Prabhu's here working and tireless for a long time, and eventually gets them. He does get them. Basically, what we're talking about manual handling is that, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's quite serious. Please learn from today's exercise. It's a very short exercise. We try to do some detailed manual handling training and everything when we have time and everything. But just take basic information from here, try to apply it. It's quite simple. Quite simple. So just go on there. Okay. You must have seen something like this. Yeah. Okay. But we're not doing it, are we? Some of us are doing it. Okay. Basically, I normally ask someone to demonstrate this, but there's not much space here. Think before what you're doing, anything, okay? Just assess your load. It could be just a box, it could be files, or it could be utensils, or it could be books. Stand as close to the load as possible. Spread your feet to create a stable base. That's that. Okay? Not too wide, not too close. Slide the load close if it's on a shelf. Bend your knees, but don't bend them fully because you won't have a lot of power to lift you. You don't have to go right down, okay? Because you're not weightlifter, even they do that kind of stuff. Okay? Don't stoop. That means don't let your back bend completely like that. That's where the problems start happening. And you must hold your load firmly, properly. Don't have it loose. Okay? Raise head up and keep it up. and lifting. So basically when you lift it, don't lift it like this, head up. The reason why we do the head up is that it straightens your back completely like that, okay? Otherwise it's bent like this. So yeah, I'm not good at practice to show you right now, but that's what's happening all the time, and the load comes on the, it's like a seesaw kind of effect. So if you keep the back straight all the time, you won't have a problem. Okay, be careful with that. Raise head, keep it up when lifting and while carrying. Use your leg muscles to straighten your legs. Lift smoothly, don't twist your body. That's often the case we do twist a lot. Use, where we are now there. Keep the load close to you, to your waist as possible. Okay? Why did I say that? Why do you want to keep your load close to you?
So that your back is straight, otherwise you want to.
No.
Because your hips take a lot of push.
Sorry? It's possible, yes. Somebody
It's
else?
evenly spread. The weight is evenly spread. It's going halfway through. So if it falls, otherwise.
Go on with it.
You get out of balance and you get, when you weight further, it's heavier.
Yeah. You're spot on again. He's doing really well. He's done this before, isn't he? Listen again. In short, has anybody tried holding a load this level? How long can you hold it for?
Seconds.
It's very difficult, isn't it? You bring it close, it's a bit easier. It's part of your body, like, yeah? So you like hugging to it, okay? That's what we're looking for, really. So don't give it up, I just take it like this. Bring it close to your body, okay? Use your body muscles. Next, please. Some of you might have seen this. This is only a guideline. Be careful, it's only a guideline, okay? Alright, so it's not definite that this is what is allowed. Normally, if you've done a manual handling training anywhere else, they'll talk about this guideline here. I know it's a men, but you know, we're just going to use that for now. What I was saying earlier, if you extend it out, the guideline is that you can only carry 5 kilograms. Okay? And you can see as soon as it goes to the body, it's 10 kilograms. Same thing, your chest and waist, 10 kilograms to 20 kilograms. Okay? And if you're bending down and picking up something floor level or knee level, you can see the effect. Extended, 5, closer, 10. Only guideline, but this is what they worked out, alright? Okay? So it's just a guideline. It's not, everybody's here a different person, individual capacity to carry those. You know, just because you're a man or you're stronger or younger, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got their own effect of carrying loads, okay? So I don't expect, just because he can carry 50 kilograms, I expect same person, same weight and everything to carry 50. No, so different. Work safe in kitchen. You were saying about kitchen, isn't it? I'm picking on kitchen today. Not going to go everything in there. Keep knives sharp. Do you bring your own knives, those in kitchen? Do you bring your own knives to cut here?
No.
Okay. It used to happen in the past, that's why. Why do you think sharp knives are safer than a blunt knife?
Because if you're using the blunt knives, you exert too much pressure, and maybe if you put too much, then
Something like that, yeah. Basically, you're more likely to slip by putting more pressure on the blunt knife, and you've got to cut the fingers, okay? Okay, keep the knives, things, cleans everything, keep it down, how you store it, wash immediately. We don't have that much glass issues here, but if you do have any glass and anything, make sure you keep it stored properly. If it's broken, check it immediately. Operate machines only if you're trained to do so. If you're involved in any machinery in kitchen or something like that, you must be trained to do it. And that could be, doesn't mean training that you go off to work somewhere for 3 hours, right? It could be training from an experienced person who knows how to use the machine properly. Okay? So if someone's been using for last year or something like that, he or she will know how to use the machine correctly. Okay? So just follow that. Follow the manufacturing instructions if you have one. You know, not going to have every time. You can download now as well. Wear hat or hairnet. Does anybody know? I mean, do we still have a problem with that? No? So why are we still finding people not wearing that?
What about?
Sorry?
What about?
When we say that whenever you're serving food or cooking food or preparation food, you must wear hat or hair nets. Yeah, I don't know. If you're not in the kitchen or serving prashad or something, you might not be worried. But what we're saying here is that it's quite important. Why do you think it's important to protect, keep our hair? Yeah. But how many ladies actually help out in the kitchen or serving prashad or anywhere like that? Well, what happens to your jewelry and your nails and your all kind of stuff like that? Not everybody. The bindis, yes. But we've been very lucky that we're not finding these incidents when people are reporting it, but they do fall. Just be careful, yeah? When you're in those sort of areas, keep aware of your bindis or makeups, you know. I hope not to find any eyelashes in there as well. You know, what I'm saying to you is that it does happen. Okay? We're just fortunate that people are not reporting in serious matters. They just say it's a mandira, that's it, you know, let's go, it's casual, yeah? But please, ladies, be careful. There are people with lots of nail varnishes, artificial nails kind of stuff happening nowadays as well. Sorry?
Comfortable shoes should be.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about particularly about when you're serving and making the food as well. Gents, Prabhus, who in that Shravan Mahina, you know, you also don't shave, but sometimes you have beard as well. If you are one of those involved in serving food or making food, please, you need to cover beard as well. It's the same problem as well. Okay? I don't think that should be a problem for ladies, but if they do, please. Do something about it. Okay? Switch off the machine and pull out the plug, if men's not in use, of course. Okay? Keep all safety guards on the equipment. Please don't take any shortcuts. Oh, this can do me fast. I can put this thing. Let me take the guard out. There have been lots of cases still today. People are losing their fingers. Seriously, yeah. So please don't play with any guards that's designed to keep it there. Okay? Next. All kitchen accidents can be prevented. Take part in training programs. So yes, do demand for it if you don't have one. So if you're gonna help out there. Use equipment right way, follow the instructions, cooperate with risk assessments. Now you know how to do one, don't you? Yes? Yes. Yeah, it's not difficult. Wear protective clothing, we just spoke about it. Don't take shortcuts. Report hazards. Use your common sense now. Okay, so now I think we'll have a common sense on health and safety. Next, please. Some of you might not be involved, but when we're erecting or dismantling the festival, anytime, anywhere, even sometimes putting a decorations up, you know, we have to be quite vigilant about it. These are ladder issues generally. Some of you might not have it, but if you do, just look out for cracks, bends, damage. There's actually broken there, all kind of stuff here. Okay? So inspect the ladders or step ladders and like that before you start using it. Don't bring them from home because they are domestic versions. You need to use industrial here, class 3 here. That needs to be robust. Okay. If you're having a problem, please ask somebody to give you proper ladders or step ladders. Okay. We don't want to see anybody falling down from step ladders as well. It does happen a lot. There are more falls of step ladders at lower height than the very high height. What do you think will happen if somebody fell off step ladders? Sorry? Fractures. Yeah. A lot of injuries, isn't it? Yeah. But what will happen mainly is that you will be no good to yourself and to the festival. Yeah? It will take you so long to heal in the hospital, maybe broken arm or foot or something like that, but you'll be no good to anybody. There's a problem as well. Okay? So take care when you're working at height. Even simple things like putting the decorations up. I've seen people going on the chairs, going to the edge of the chair as well. Okay? So be careful. Next. This does happen a lot. I know this is a real photo anyway. People do lean even for common things, okay? Avoid excessive stretching or leaning any work at height, okay? Workers should never work with one leg on ladder. I've seen that happening. A slip will result in very serious fall. There's a very serious injuries resulting from any falls actually. I mean, some people have shared their injuries already earlier on from slips, trips and falls as well. But you don't know what's how you're going to land on secondary injuries, okay? Fire safety. Again, You visit this temple so often. Do you know where your fire assembly point is if you was helping out today?
Yeah.
How many yes and how many no's? Hands up.
Yes.
Yes. How many yes? 5, 6. How many no's? Well, the rest of it isn't really. So still maybe the people don't know where. If you were serving today, helping out as a volunteer, you need to know where assembly point is. Why do you think we need to know assembly point?
Basically,
Counted.
to count people how many there are.
Yes.
Make sure there's no one missing.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Just to tell you where your assembly point today is that those people who knows, where is it?
Flag outside.
Hanuman flag. Absolutely right. Which is just here on the lawn, okay? Just keep that in mind. If you're ever serving on odd day and something does, God forbid it happens, that's your assembly point. Okay? So one of the reasons why we need to know assembly point and why we need to count our volunteers is that basically, if there was, on a scenario, say there was a fire upstairs here, for example, and we said, well, we got all the volunteers except one is missing. Fire brigade person will risk his life or her life to save that life who's stuck in the building. And then if you find that that person was somewhere buggering about in the field or somewhere and he risked his life, he could be prosecuted for that because he risked his life to save your life. Okay. Assembly point is mainly for count, yes. You need to know how many is outside, how many people still inside. So they can take necessary. These are the typical fire exit signs. You should be familiar with it. Assembly point, what fire action looks like. Extinguishers. How many people have been trained to use fire extinguishers here? 1, 2. At what place? Yeah? So you two, the rest of them not trained, you as well?
Not trained, but I know there are 5 different extinguishers.
What train?
You train, that's okay, as long as you train somewhere, it doesn't matter work, home, or where, but you need to be trained. Do you know why it's necessary to be trained on fire extinguishers?
You might be the person who is next to it. You might be.
No, not like that.
There are different types of
So if, for example, if there was a fire here, say this cable was on fire, electrical fire, and I use water, what do you think happens? Exactly. You need to know differences. There's different types of extinguishers for different things. Those who work in the kitchen, what sort of firefighting equipment do you use for fire effects? Yeah, blanket. Would you use water on the oil or something like that? Why not? Absolutely right. See why this is the training. It's not a difficult training. Yeah, it's not difficult training. You need to know the different types of extinguishers or different types of fires, okay? But if you're not trained, don't be heroes. You might make it worse. Okay? Those who are trained somewhere, how many extinguishers can you use on a typical fire? There's 3, 4 will be trained. No. How many fire extinguishers can you use?
Water.
No, not types. How many? If there was a fire here, for example, how many extinguishers can you use?
Depends on how big fire.
Absolutely. But if you think you need to use more than one, you need to shout for help, okay? Because it's only designed for small fire, very small fire. All fires are from small, unless it's an explosion, okay? So you need to be careful with this. Don't keep on using 10 extinguishers. It doesn't make any, just need to call for help. Okay, next please. Safety signs. Everybody familiar with safety signs? So
You don't know about the fire extinguisher. You can use blanket. It should be blanket provided for.
yeah, you can. Depends. In ideal kitchen, it should be fire blankets. And people need to know how to use that as well. Okay. So that's the issue as well. Normally the extinguisher training is covered. Safety signs. Everybody familiar with safety signs? Yes?